So if you love this fragrance right here, Dolce & Gabbana The One EDP, but you're frustrated with the performance, I've got some good news for you because this video is going to help you out. Today we're going to be checking out Dolce & Gabbana The One Royal Night Edition, kind of the exclusive edition here. This is one that I've had in my collection for quite a few months now. I just haven't gotten around to doing a full review on it, but I've had plenty of time to test it and formulate my thoughts on it. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to tell you how this fragrance smells, how it performs, when you can wear it, and ultimately, if I think it's worth picking up, and how it performs compared to the One EDP. So all of you Dolce & Gabbana The One lovers out there, you guys better get ready because this is going to be a good one. Let's get into it. Let's go and start off with how this fragrance smells. When you first spray this one on, what you'll get in the opening right away is a nice cardamom, amber, and woody opening. The cardamom, of course, is giving it a spicy and somewhat oriental feel. The amber is giving it a nice warm, sticky sweetness, and you get some other woods like sandalwood and cedarwood just kind of in the base there, just giving it a nice support. Now, one thing you'll notice is that there is an absent note here compared to the original Dolce & Gabbana The One EDT and EDP, and that, unfortunately, is tobacco. This version of Dolce & Gabbana The One took out the tobacco, but again, you're still getting the amber, the cardamom, the woods. It just doesn't have that sexy tobacco note in here. And for what it's worth, it also doesn't have the grapefruit pop in the opening either, but that's kind of forgivable. I'm not really too concerned about that. So that's the main difference here between the original and this one, is the lack of tobacco, which is a bummer. I love the tobacco note in Dolce & Gabbana The One. It smells fantastic, but I'm sure, as you guys know, both of those fragrances, EDT and EDP, don't have the best performance, and that's where this fragrance comes in to fix that. So at the end of the day, you got to pick and choose which you prioritize here. If you love the tobacco in Dolce & Gabbana The One and you can't do without it, well, you're probably going to have to stick with those. But if you want better performance and you want, mostly the same scent aside from the tobacco and get better performance, this one's worth checking out. This one dries down with the main notes still being that amber, the sandalwood, the other woods, a little bit of nutmeg in here as well, also giving it a bit of a spiciness. It dries down to still a fragrance that smells quite a bit like Dolce & Gabbana The One. And that's the thing about the scent is, yes, it still is very much Dolce & Gabbana The One. You can smell this one and know immediately what it smells like. So they are very similar to each other, just minus a couple of notes here. And in some situations, you might actually prefer this one. For example, a date night scenario. The tobacco in some situations could be maybe a bit too strong, depending on the woman and her taste, of course, and just, factors like that. This fragrance, without that note, you'll find is a bit more smooth. With a lot of the main notes here being the amber and the sandalwood, it kind of is a bit more of a smooth and warm, well-rounded fragrance. It doesn't have that kind of rough masculine tobacco note in here, which would make this one really good for close encounters. And talking about when you can wear this fragrance, I think it would be a great date night scent. Date nights, evenings out, dressed up, dinner dates, and all that stuff. This one would be a great fit for. You could also, of course, wear it during the daytime, in the fall and winter, of course, just kind of casually, semi-dressed up or whatever. It's a very versatile scent DNA, as I'm sure you guys are aware of, and it'll work for about anything. It is more suited for the cooler months. I would say spring, fall, and winter. Summer is just going to be a bit too hot, and late spring when it's getting warm may be a bit too hot as well, but, early spring, it'll still work great. This one really, for the most part, can almost work all year round if you're in a climate-controlled area. And now let's go and touch on the elephant in the room, and that is the performance. So on my skin, longevity-wise, I honestly get about 9 to 10 hours, and I'm not kidding either. This lasts a long time on my skin, which is awesome. That's great to hear. In terms of projection, I do find that this one is a bit more on the moderate side. This is an EDP concentration, so you would expect it to be maybe a bit more mild than an EDT fragrance, but it's more of a personal scent for me. It is one that will kind of get outside of your personal bubble just a little bit, especially within the first couple hours, but after that, it will start to die down and stay closer to the skin. Not a skin scent, but just closer to the skin to where you would have to get, kind of up in your personal space to smell it. But for me, for this type of scent, I'm perfectly okay with that. As long as I can smell it on myself throughout the day, that's all I care about because I love smelling it. It's a great scent, one of my favorite fragrance DNAs. So if I can smell it, that's great. But I also know that if people get kind of up in my personal space a little bit, they will be able to smell it as well. This type of thing isn't meant to fill rooms, like for something like Versace Eros, for example, a room-filling, juvenile, youthful, playful scent. This one's a bit more refined, a bit more elegant, and it's meant to be discovered. But the main issue that this one is fixing and addressing is the longevity issues. And again, 9 to 10 hours, that's really good for this stuff. Talking about quality here, of course, quality is fantastic, just like you would expect from Dolce & Gabbana. They offer great fragrances at pretty good prices. I do think that these Royal Night versions, this exclusive here, goes for a bit more than the original Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDP. I want to say you could be paying $60, maybe $70. I don't know for sure. I will link it down below to FragranceNet, which is probably about the best price that you can get it for there. So, you're probably going to be paying a little bit more for this one. But again, that's where you have to make your choice. Do you want to, pay a bit more money up front and get a better performer, or go with more sprays of, the EDP and just have it not last as long and have those frustrations? It's going to be up to you, but I know people all the time say that they love the one EDP, but it doesn't perform that good. This is a solid option for you to explore if you want to have a solution to that. And for the most part, this will actually take the place of Dolce & Gabbana the one EDP for me, because, at this point, with my newer bottles of the one, they don't perform that good. I had a bottle from 2015 and that performed 7 to 8 hours plus on me every time. And I would say that in my videos and people would get mad at me and saying that it doesn't last that long. My bottle from 2015 was a great performer, but I have gotten some newer bottles and yeah, it's true. It just doesn't perform that good. So this one will take the place of the one EDP for me. Again, I do miss the tobacco note, and every now and then what I'll do usually is I'll layer this one with like the EDT. The EDT, you get that grapefruit, you get that tobacco in there, and it's just a bit more of a projector. So I'll typically layer the two together. I've got a 150 ml of the EDT, so I don't have to worry about running out of it. And if you layer that, you kind of get the best of both worlds. But it's just a really good performer and a really solid alternative to the one EDP, which just doesn't perform the best. So I just wanted to do this video to give you guys an alternative option if you wanted to explore this and see how this one performs and wears on your skin. Give it a shot. If you like the one EDP, EDT, whatever, you're going to like this one as well because it's very, very similar. If you're not a fan of these fragrances, well, then you're probably not going to like this one all that much either. Unless you don't like tobacco. In that case, maybe you'll like this one then because there isn't any tobacco. Regardless of that, this is a very sexy fragrance, just like the original. It's a compliment monster of a scent, and it smells so good for fall and winter time. So guys, that's pretty much gonna do it for me. That's my thoughts on the one Royal Night by Dolce & Gabbana. If you have tried this one, let me know what you think down below. If you like it better than the EDP, if you get better performance and whatever. And do remember, if you want to check this fragrance out and pick it up at a discount price, it will be linked down below as well. That's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.